Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning Must-Knows. My name is Merlin Rothfeld, and another great trading week is in the books. Tons of volatility, of course, with Trump taking over and all of his executive orders. A lot of uncertainty is starting to become a little bit clearer. We heard a lot about the digital asset stockpile, not a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Maybe in upcoming weeks, we'll talk more about that as the dust settles, we understand more about it. But let's be honest, we had some great moves. We had the S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, all trending pretty high. Now, the thing that was noteworthy for me anyway, might be this little chart right here. That is the dollar index, which, as you can see, broke down below some key levels, and that may be a problem for our markets going forward. That said, let's dive into our earnings. So we know that's coming up, and there's some big announcements here happening on the earnings calendar. 369 companies reporting this week. We start things off with a quiet Monday. That's going to be with AT&T. On Tuesday, much bigger names: SAP, RTX, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, General Motors, Starbucks, and Chubb. Of importance are those middle ones there, RTX, LMT, and BA. Those are all in the defense category, which of course a lot of people are keeping an eye on because of potential money inflows. Moving on to Wednesday, huge names: Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, ASML, IBM, Lam Research, and General Dynamics, another defense stock. But really, it's those top three with Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla reporting earnings. That's all going to be after market close on Wednesday. Prepare for fireworks on Thursday, but we're not done. We get another heavy hitter on Thursday with Apple, Visa, MasterCard, Thermo Fisher, Shell, Intel, and UPS. Of course, Apple, such a big weighted component of these indexes. What an exciting Wednesday, Thursday, and actually Friday session, because remember, all those Wednesday earnings report typically after market close, which means Thursday trading will be volatile, as well as Friday, and we're not done with Friday yet. Friday, before market open, we get oil companies: ExxonMobil, Chevron, Phillips 66, and then Colgate-Palmolive and Novartis. Now, from that earnings calendar, there's a lot of volatility going to be happening with our markets. However, there is the kind of the bigger picture here. Of course, stocks are very volatile and move a lot, but there's this layer of importance, and probably the highest level of importance right now is central banks. What are central banks going to be doing with their respective interest rate policies for their countries? Now, we start things off here in the United States on Wednesday again. This will be the first rate announcement under President Trump. And of course, there's a lot of pressure from President Trump. You may have seen the recent press release where he is demanding, actually it was a press conference, where he's demanding that rates go lower. That's not how this works, right? The Federal Reserve is supposed to be independent. However, I do believe there will be some pressure put on Trump to make this happen. Now, let's see. We start things off with the U.S. market. That's going to be Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Our rate announcement is expected to stay the same. 4.5% is where we are at, and that's where the expectations are that we're going to go. This will not please President Trump, and we'll see what his comments are about this most likely later on that day. However, as you guys know, the fireworks really happen during the press conference when Jerome Powell will take the podium and field questions, and I assure you, there will be a lot of questions about, and I quote, "President Trump says he wants rates lower. How do you respond to that?" That will, I'm a psychic, I'm predicting the future. That will come up at least one time during that press conference with Jerome Powell. I'm curious to see how he responds. Now, it's not just about the U.S. on Wednesday. We also have, a neighbor to the north, which might be our 51st state, Canada. Canada coming out with a rate announcement. They are expected to drop by 25 basis points from 3.25% down to 3%. That will be Wednesday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time. That will be 15 minutes after our equity markets open. And on Thursday, the ECB comes out with their announcement, and that is expected to also be a 25 basis point cut from 3.15% down to 2.9%. That will happen a little over an hour before the equity markets open on Thursday at 8:15 a.m. Eastern time. Now, our final piece here dives into the inflationary side of things. Of course, inflation is a big factor in all of these rate announcements and how things may be moving going forward for these respective countries. So right now, it is kind of critical for us to focus on what is that U.S. inflation rate, because of course, we don't want inflation, but some of the new policies may bring inflation higher. Look at our next piece of data, which is the core PCE price index, the most widely watched and used piece of data by the Fed. That is expected to come out Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And as you can see right now, we are at 0.1% on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, are we going to come out at 0.1%? Remember, annualized 0.1 times 12 is 1.2%. That would make the Fed very happy. They've reached their goal, and now they can just do whatever the heck they want to do. However, the expectation as of right now is we're going to come out at 0.2%. little bit higher, nothing dramatic. Certainly anything above 0.2 might be cause for concern in the financial markets. What I do know is that when this announcement comes out, you will see a tremendous amount of volatility in reaction to that report, that data, before the markets open. Again, this is 1 hour before the equity markets open. So by the time you get into trading on Friday, you'll have the Apple earnings announcement to deal with. You'll have core PCE price index numbers to deal with. It will make for a very busy Friday session. And of course, this data here is something that can be very critical for our markets going forward. So we've got a lot more to talk about, but I'm just out of time. Maybe I'll include some of the crypto and digital asset stuff in our next week's Monday Morning Must Knows. That, my friends, is it. We will see you next week.